It's your time to talk back on the Rob Crew Show. Have your say at 613-750-1310. Good morning, everyone. It is your time to talk back to us here at 1310 News. We want you to call 613-750-1310. Now, I'm going to go a little bit radical on you. I'm going to say we can...
One by a fellow by the name of Neil Desai, the University of Ottawa. The second out of, and it's not generally available, I don't believe, but if you got LinkedIn, you can find them. The other by a fellow by the name of Wesley Ward. Again, you roll their intelligence health security folks. Neil Desai makes one very, very good point, starting in his article. And that is that we have a Canadian Committee on Global Affairs and Public Safety. It includes major players on the health and safety front across government. It's an across-government institution.
Okay.
However, it does not, for some strange reason, it does not include the Ministry of Health.
Well, that seems like a shortfall.
Absolutely. Primarily because Health Canada and PHAC, the public health agency, have significant public health mandates. And I would suggest that part of the absence of the Ministry of Health from this committee likely led to a reduction in the National Emergency Strategic Stockpile stocks, PPE.
We really felt that. I mean, I think back to March and April. I'm sure you do too, Eric, and it just seemed like it was unbelievable that Canada didn't have what we needed.
Absolutely, and it was a fail on the part of our public health system, and I'll go into that right now and why. Work's article is entitled in part, "The System Was Not Blinking Red." And he really points to the need to understand why our surveillance system and our warning system failed. Because it was in place post-SARS in 2003. That was the driver. And that effort led to three major thrusts from the Government of Canada. First of all, there was a new federal Department of Health Canada, where it was formerly the Department of National Health and Welfare. So that department was split into Health Canada and the new Public Health Agency of Canada, PHAC, with a new position of Chief Public Health Officer. So that was the first change in government in terms of early warning and risk assessment. The second important piece was that it picked up on what was called the precautionary principle. So, and the precautionary principle essentially says, listen, risk reduction need not wait for the science. If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Or as I said the other day, a coot. And the third thing it did was it developed a new national security policy. The policy was an all-hazards approach, and the role of intelligence was seen as a first line of defense. They also realized that health security needed to be integrated into the national security discussion. So important first steps in developing a plan for what we're in the middle of today.
It's going to be really interesting when all is said and done. We hope sooner than later. When we review the steps taken, the dates, different things were rolled out by Dr. Tam and by the Prime Minister. I think we're really going to have a lot to talk about.
I'll give you the tip of the iceberg piece today, because I think this is a discussion that needs to be had right across this country. So with all of that stuff in place, post-SARS, what did that mean? Well, in 2006, we developed a pandemic influenza plan. Now, just because it was pandemic influenza didn't mean it could not be used for other viruses or bacterial or whatever types of infections. It was a plan, and it looked at the risk environment associated with a viral infection. The other thing that came out of that three-pronged effort was what was called the Global Public Health Intelligence Network, GPHAN, which was Canada's early warning system. And it worked. I mean, the GPHN did work. But as time went by, I think government just got a little bit complacent. A lot of it was a big dollar line item, and people were saying, "Listen, we're not going to see a pandemic. Let's redeploy the funds."
Yeah, it was a really interesting choice there that was made for sure. Eric, really interesting call today. Thanks so much for your insight. Calling from Haven, my hometown. Thank you so much for the call today.
Thanks, Al.
I wanted to speak with Diane from Stittsville. Hi, Diane.
Good morning, Sam. The lady from the Teachers Federation made some really excellent points.
I agree.
But I want to talk to you about a radio station in Boston.
Okay.
Because at night, most of the Ottawa radio stations are repeats. So I listen to them. They're in 10:30 a.m. out of Boston. 200 teachers in I guess it's a school. I didn't get the beginning part of it, and I don't have a computer, so I couldn't look it up. But this is quite accurate what they said. 200 teachers worked all summer. They made 15,000 videos. So they also want teachers working at school when the school is shut down. And they want them working from school so they're not doing housework or looking after their children or taking parcels from the door. They want them in school to use the blackboards and their whiteboards. So 15,000 videos. That means that when their schools are shut down, they have everything for grade kindergarten to grade 12 ready for the
for like online learning.
Yes. So so did our teachers think about that in March, that we're going to be back here? My neighbor next door told me yesterday that two of the teachers that have his sons, I think they're in grade 3 and 4, they didn't have the proper Wi-Fi or whatever. They did have computers at home, but they couldn't do the at-home teaching. So his sons never heard from a teacher. Yesterday, my granddaughter in grade 10 was back at school. There were 12 children because she's going 3 days this week, 2 next week. And she said they talked a lot about COVID-19. A lot of time was spent on how to prevent COVID-19 in the school. So she was happy to get back. I think I told you this a couple of weeks ago when you were on. And some of her friends did not go back.
Right. So it's really interesting because so many people are trying to make the right decision for their family. And certainly I know as a mom, Diane, I often lie in bed at night and think, did I make the right decision? My daughter went back. It's one of those things where I think as parents, we're always going to sort of second guess. And I think your point of teachers, maybe not having all the tools that they need is a really good one. I always appreciate your call. Thanks so much, Diane.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. It really is an interesting thought there from Diane talking about how prepared the teachers were. And I know that there were so many different factors leading before teachers a really, really challenging time. We know that the numbers are up again today in Ontario. We heard, from a number of different people. We know that Premier Doug Ford has been in contact with officers of health here in Ontario. Of course, here in Ottawa, in a conversation about Ottawa. We're going to play that for you now.
We've been working around the clock on the numbers going up. I had a conversation with 3 regions, myself and the health team, with Dr. Davila from Toronto, and what a great job Dr. Davila is doing. and Dr. Etches in Ottawa as well, another fabulous doctor, and Dr. Lowe in Peel, kind of three hot spots, and had a very, very good conversation as we're going to continue having those talks with regional health teams across the province. So we're ready to take questions. I know it's kind of like the perfect storm, everything coming together, school starting, second wave, flu season, economy. But folks, I can tell you one thing, we're going to hit some bumps, but we're ready for it. We're still leading North America, and the only reason we're leading North America in those cases is because each and every one of you, and I'm so, so grateful to every person in Ontario, very grateful for all the essential workers, frontline healthcare workers. We're going to get through this.
Premier Doug Ford, of course, sharing his thoughts on Ottawa and what's happening here with our numbers rising. We want to hear from you. It is the Talk Back Hour. We're opening it up to any conversation you want to have today. Give us a call, 613-750-1310. I'm Sam LaPrade, filling in for Rob Snow.
The big boys have come out to play. We're going toe-to-toe.
Every game of the Stanley Cup playoffs is on Sportsnet.
Series can change on one play. Series is over.
Nothing is guaranteed.
Part of the Northern Eastern Conference Finals. You can't have it. This one is so bad.
Oh, really? Hibernating caves where it's so dark.
I know. Wait, what's this thing with humans? There's room for like 7 or 8 of them.
Called a Subaru Ascent.
I couldn't bear to hibernate in there. You check out that panoramic sunroof.
And they brought a picnic camper.
Yeah.
Wonder if they'll invite us in? I'll just know.
Wow.
Wow. Mobile hibernating.
Fall back into adventure with a Subaru.
Hurry into your local Ontario Subaru dealer for great rates of 0.5%. The process of building a home can be daunting. Whether you already have plans, are tearing down an existing home, or looking at a piece of land at a great location, Highbridge Construction works with you and provides a single point of contact with their personally selected team of experienced planners, architects, designers, and specialized trades. Highbridge can help you with financing and always works within your budget. Learn more at highbridgeconstruction.com. For new home construction, renovations, and emergency repairs, take the Highbridge.
Here's Allison Slechnick of the Waterford Retirement Community with an important message.
Thanks, Mark. It certainly has been an interesting few months, but my team at the Waterford has done an exceptional job at keeping our residents safe and in good spirits with creative virtual programming and palates delighted with our amazing culinary team. We are now slowly starting to allow visitors and also booking tours again. Call Sabine to book your time to visit our beautiful residents and see for yourself the difference family ownership makes.
Book your tour today. Waterford Retirement Community at Bank and Hunt Club. WaterfordRetirement.com.
Hey, it's Sandy. I'm with Jim Mahood of Gifford Car Insurance Group.
At Gifford Car, we're your representatives to the insurance company. We understand what the policy covers and what it doesn't cover.
You actually read the policy.
We know the policies. That's our job. You can ask us questions about the policies. Our job is to represent you to the insurance companies and let you know what coverages are in the policy that are relevant to your situation, because no two situations are exactly the same.
GiffordCar.ca.
Hi, we're Reese and Jesse, hosts of Frequency Podcast Network's Canadian Politics is Boring.